say ye nipa sabe. Now the best and this because we were second class human beings because around that time, now United Nations. Yate dada unse at United Nations 1945 after the Second World War. Nana Black Africa country biya enka ho. Nti so mu kohia wo ho a bibini biya enka ho.
Yate UN no. Na African country biya enka saku no.
Say yeah independent countries.
Okay,
sovereign nations.
All right. It's that time no. Ne ho.
Aha, near. In 1945, no. Let's just say a country be a Black African, no. Yankan,
okay.
Enisa.
Okay.
Intina say we cry and guasi ye mine. Intina ye can wild politics, ye ni mubi. Now, and no so in Chirasa, na a mine be a wahano, and ye nyafa hudi. Na Liberia, and yafa hudi about 100 years earlier. Ethiopia de obi ani won so eda
obi an konka Ethiopia
dabi on the yan colonize won and Egypt nso no mo anya won fa ahodie. Now these countries anya won fa ahodie no omu pe won ba bi tenai African some mfa won ho wiasen some mfa won ho omu te won ba bi until Kwame Nkrumah ebahe te Nkrumah babeduru ahasei no onu amu oba no okra Madam Liberty big giant statue we US hwe ni say ya so otika mu a hwe giant statue ni sa no say sa Liberty we say no bi na mekọ akoko ho ntokwa ewo mememu eneme continent ya bibi man nyina obabeduru ha no a wo sha ase say organize ne normal ni bibi oye bia no opese ye bibi man nyina. The reason being that abrofo no ho omo edie no te se France omba hwehwe omo aben wa Ivory Coast, Senegal, Gabon, Burkina Faso sa countries ni nyina mu na yade wako France ntuko sua de na wo ba wo beboa ewo colonial administration no nti wo ba bedru ye no o classmates, some being the white people with seniors with juniors say Britain and so a scholarship Oxford and I say University of London, all the universities over there. The Uber now who were friends among the colonial administrators. Intino say Fahudi na wo shisha. Then na upe Fahudi. There was this judges in Aya brofo. Na be away a lawyer to say down kwa. Tomu ya wo nam fofo. Mu nyina mu ye Freemasons. Moto dami bom mu didi bom mu ye bibia bom. Incidentally, Nkrumah was the only one who found himself in the US. Into Obedru Ghana no ni classmate bi awo baby.
Oh, okay.
Only classmate. And I feel so US investing no coin. At that time a low class investing because when your scholarship or back Harvard movie.
Okay.
And the Preston University movie.
And you here for the no.
And predominantly blacks.
Okay. And never ho.
All right. The advantages a year two. The first one was that they were blacks predominantly.
Okay.
Omu nyina hate abrofo. The second advantage, and they say, Oko America, na no so aye colony to Britain.
Okay.
In the 1770s, almost so G1 fa hudie. International say, wako omaya wako kwosua kwaya ye fa so G fa hudie. And the third one is that omai no a wako mu no. Enyo omai ketwa te se Ghana. United States, about 55 states, just as Africa. Omuni Africa about the same number of states. Yes, and one kakerebi.
Okay.
And it says a state means country.
Okay.
Sa country see bura duonum no ya kan bo na your mind back. Meanwhile, omuji won nanko omuji fa hudi omu otumi so ombachiche. Omu anyesa.
America for.
America. Omuji won fa hudi free Britain won. Omu hunyansa so omu akambo. No omu kambo omu no na mo mbe superpower.
I don't think a sosano. A whole continent.
And that Omaya in one country.
Yeah.
And Nkrumah didn't need to form who say country be a sono. We have the advantage of numbers. Russia a son, a superpower. America son, a superpower. China the same. India the same. To the moment that was son, you have a lot of advantages. The Ghana film, I see, and to the Nigerian film, they are told woman. What is the reason? Obin almost 300 million, who population 30 million. Almost 300 million. See, I can say I'm talking 1% is one better. What's what 1%, 10% impo, so better in Jessica. Nti Nkrumah who the background of Iba say Ghana is like one state in the US. Nti ahesamano. Nti that Africanization policy and unity ne wo nimu. And something he called the African personality. Before no kokotu womu ewo hono. Anyansafo nko a womu yusu Marcus Garvey. The philosophy says before you know to me e kabom. And no ye na adwin say ne meme ba mbeba be start sa de no ewo ha na mu nyina nso mabobuame. Nti Nkrumah coming to the political scene, change the history of the world immediately. Said this is Africa coming up. And I think so, and I'm so free American or buying. And now for no year or more, a bini Malcolm X, a bini Martin Luther King. Into 1957, no declare independence, no invite you. On by, into time or on money independence speech, you know, mpacha ordinary speech. Oh, now, omo enim no say asem na yakwachi omo enim no say no wa prepare speech a ehye bottom na obeduru ho no when you saw speech no it was like a divine inspiration and no man and he started by thanking everybody, farmers, fishermen, the market women, party members, obia. The second line he came to talk about our country. The next line, he came to talk about the fact that the independence of Ghana would be meaningless unless it was linked up with the liberation of the entire continent of Africa. So he came to talk about Africa.
And before I continue, not just say, boy, Emma and Nkrumah Adrian for front here, kwa one school of Britain.
And near number one, so called school of Britain. And the outlook could also be a okay. And near number one, what was Yamia Nibia as any paternity? Yami Obibia Yami Bia and I said the paternity. And then no call baby co prepare to obey in colonial administration, no only classmate whom or near down for a woman. No say the same Britain they America for so no more Pamo 1G 1 fan who did no more by your superpower almost in a way. Until me to me Pamo. All right, time or J fan who did any size speech. The conclusion was about the black man, that the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. So speech in and now Martin Luther King a year notes and no could deliver the famous I have a dream speech. I will US instantly and my black people civil rights for the first time almost as so motuaba. Wow. So Nkrumah's presence on this planet, you know, as is a BBR. Dear make us here, can I some adage? And what you know, so 1957 on what independence, 58 in one year, All African People's Conference. Bibi men na momra, ni ukwa ye befaswa, ye beji fa hudie. Okay. Nti babedu 1960 pepe ne yate OAU. Around that time, over 23 countries, no mwaji wonfa Africa because of near Kwame Nkrumah about Bebe Guye. So it means he says, I know Nkrumah or Baya, and can be before crying freedom once I'm the name tidim. Now, my main country says, United Gold Coast Convention. Yeah, come once UGCC. You see, Ghana first started with Aborigines Right Protection Society. It will because of founders, I may say Aborigines Right Protection Society. No, Sabamo, Jacob Wilson say Munina Ekahono. Omuni ni entire yete no. Na brofo say asase bia currently at that time no omu fanya hwea eda ho no. Ye pese ya ne crown land ye de hye aban ase. Na aban ehwe so. Na no na omu tena ho dwene ho no omu se da bi. Emisa brofo no nte yaka definition of land in Ghana omu ntiase. Na yen de ne se asase no eye na nanom ewu kwa ne dia na omu ete asase sisese no ehwe so e de amanchiri ma ye bo wo abeda bi nti se ete asase so ne ya mo ho ban na kodi broni nsemu a da bi yasa kwa asamando a anu ye be ne ye kwa because ni wura anom le ho. So it means that in the case of Africans, land has a spiritual significance. I can't say a bosom a sunsum and tis a camp, but your car, the son and union at any time to me everyone and tis a tari as I say no a yamine boy and then yami 1 inch cram mecam until you want anonymous your bottle womba coye every woman jenny a coye we at the 2 home minds and a frame and I can't once and no there's a woman by a cosimbra wobako condition ya wo foforo no so abeto aso usudru anu akọdane samai na sase na be ya wo dia na wo di wani hwe ne ya wo na ba no so bo ho ban eno na me ye kwa explain kire British Parliament no ho ne the boss asase no ho eban after that na chese Aborigines Land Protection Society no more or less abeye irrelevant ehun bi omo ana National Congress of British West Africa and also omo ba and Chief Macaulay omo adwen ne say pese the 4 colonies of West Africa, Gambia, Sierra Leone, and then Ghana, Nigeria. I mean, Gold Coast, Ghana, Nigeria. Yentuminka yahumbo. Na debi sabe kobase fahudia. Niye ina your mind back like federal states. Almost starting a true baby no mu say emwa because so free Ghana before so be Nigeria French colony that time German territory na were middle so also we share benkum so Ivory Coast ne ho and sana wakoto Liberia no wako Sierra Leone
and ni emotion
se ke emotion dia ka be easy way enye te true baby na say ye jai emaneka then in 1947 no openi Pa Grant businessman and no adwene ye ne say ye the South African businessman be friend RT Briscoe ebe compete with him rubber no bedua timber no watcha bibia abrofo no compete with him enti ane so tumete political party da bi ebenya efa ahodie ne apamu abrofo no ma wo mu akọ na wo mu kọwie na kyese ye ne obi anye competition bia na abibifo ye ho atoye e wo man we say mu enti wote ne party na party no a wote ye no incidentally no da bia meka no ba bia no na adwen ne say enam se ni business ewo colony ha say mpacho Ghana no ni achichem bebre Gold Coast no ase ha say na ye mpoano no ye fa ne the colony was made up of Eastern Province and Western Province. Eastern Province and I know the Eastern region and then Greater Accra region. And a Western Province here, Central region and Western region here now ya sa chemu no. Nti na fa the colony. Nti the colony na no so na fa the Gold Coast. Real Gold Coast I know the colony.
That time no.
The
real Gold Coast no.
I know the colony.
Eastern region, Greater Accra, Central and Western regions no.
And I fa the colony in the Gold Coast. Ashanti na Parliament kura no a wa akra no mu parliament na Ashanti nkobi they ruled Ashanti by proclamations but you no amrado omo anu nsem no ka kire ahemfo no na omo nso e de aye adwuma until 1946 no na Ashanti mpo nka yaho what you say na your fancy one northern territories wo mu so enka ho kura na omo aye ne say wo hu eye Ashanti no made up of then Bono Ahafo and Ashanti region will be the food basket for them. Now, Northern Territories, yakofe nipa no more babe ye juma.
Ewo Ashanti and Bono sono.
I was Gold Coast Colonial. Mines and near no. I say Northerners so Omo anwade. Southerners na akuko schools a wanwade encouragement the manua. 1 year ntia see this remko. Na wo di wo mu nyina be kam wo beka parliament no no mo aye mra. Wo mu kofo be fighting for them. They will fight for schools like Infantipim at the Saddle and others into north ni nyinara. Na school bi any ho. Into near wo imaginary boundary between the north and the south. Into na wu yasa United Gold Coast Convention no. Ebe ha wo hu se omudi Ashanti no north ebe ka ho voters so nka ho akwa bibi te say efa German territory ane yedi wo mu aba abeka ye ho enti fa hodie no ayeka eho asem no so called founding fathers and so called big six no so omutumeje fa hodie no a na nka ye that colony na yeso utu emre se wo kire esie Pa Grant no ye chairman of the party no what deputies mienu
Pa Grant no
the deputies mienu
chairman of UGCC
no the first deputy a friend of RS Blake later be a Supreme Court judge my friend Mr. Justice Blake. RS Blake or your first deputy chairman of UGCC in charge of the Western Province and the second vice chairman in charge of the Eastern Province JB Dankwa. And if I say JB down quantity party bia or Ghana, and then on your chairman of party bia or Ghana had the UGCC no what here,
but no a vice chairman. The Eastern
second
Province,
vice.
Second vice.
First vice ya RS Blay.
What the Western offshore Western.
Western and a West Shaway.
Okay.
And a papa no muno be party ni ya nedia. A party ni ya nedia. And to almost almost general secretary. And I go Jesse of Finland and Neban, young man do on him organization to young Fanamera. Ntia no buy I didn't call party headquarters or share woman no who is almost 13 branches in the colony.
Okay.
Na two na ya active. Aya Salt Pond Cape Coast and a crab branch. And no
East Indian Grand Shadang.
Baby I been the baby abim say East Western region muno secondi we be ni ho. Ntia ba ne sano. In a matter of 2 months, Nkrumah organized 300 branches. Now, dear year when we bufuni say, Nkrumah the biko Ashanti no bono ne have for ne not any vote any baby ya.
UGCC no.
UGCC
branches no.
Or spread in the baby ya. And a year we bufunti £100 a month. Almost man, almost sad man £25 because a Jumani is so yeah no na.
And oh
yeah. A friend so Kasabi African unity ne no ma omumpe etie one seminar. Okeka.
Tonight just say Nkrumah will be a no penkabum.
Or penkabum say one or minor ebeka abom. Oh na wo di dankwa sorry wo di grant echi no. And na adwen papa ni wontirim.
Okay.
Actually say no papa we no grant no. Ono yenzimani.
Okay.
And what's in the party. But so washa o kan so omun kamom no omun party no. JB dankwa no kwasesa ne fiefo bebre ana de ba nti na no hwe big sis na ewo sika no so o say eastern region fo no edoso
so
omuno doso ewo so ana make sure say nka oluma no nya well educated one year san 7 na wo ye lawyer ni wo say kuta PhD na nka obadwena o mani nyina ho eyi no ono dwene tribalism mu say asantefo na form empire be that Ashanti empire. And almost what do you ba mu pe aduane se nipa no do so aduane no enche enso yedi na the same aduane o the same powers in the beche and na wo kofa esremfo ene ayibefo ne asantefo abeka wo ene se enso ye nti the measure so omu nko na Nkrumah hu abufu ni se oba odi gbedamadi nachi ene krobodu se ene wo bia enti tam otumfo asante hene prempe the second ehu dwuma odie no ana ode Ashanti Youth Association and the beka Kwame Nkrumah supporters no.
Okay.
So they were personally having allegiance to only Kwame Nkrumah. And Kwame Nkrumah so who say your Committee of Youth Organizations CYO. Our year friend say UGCC. Aye youth nkwa no mo penasam because mpanimfo no ye lawyer for ni businessmen and kasia want to me approach won. Nti Kwame Nkrumah no omunim no. Nti 90 to cut a long story short no. 1949 aye ka say Nkrumah no ma wo ye na ha adwene nya na ye pam na free party no mo. Na che so okuta two powerful bodies. Omu allegiance to him and to him only. The first one, and the Committee of Youth Associations, CYO, within the UGCC. And Ashanti Youth Association, Prempe, Edemano. It is our committee, we say, no, youthful people, and no Cambo Mo, the Convention People's Party. And one and to a Convention People's Party. Now, my Convention People's Party, I buy national party. Now, my UGCC no na ye for the colony. And to Amukoto about 1951.
That's the United Gold Coast Convention.
It was for meant for the colony. No, we didn't see Gold Coast.
Okay.
Into 51 election, no, Omulusu yano, and Omugu Convention, Omugu United Gold Coast Convention omugu no nti na chese amre no achemfo ne hope no ombi bia ene fancy JB dankwa
Anokye second vice
UGCC
okay
and asantefo no ade you have only a CPP for to start with. Asantefo because you see Ghana politics who because tribalism no wobua. Asantefo no so who say UGCC omo anfa one kan na Nkrumah mom and I extend e de abaho no. No mo so start ade bi say nzemani asante kra ya ade baako nzema kotoko asante kotoko na achimfo de omo nye yenuanom until their focus was on Kwame Nkrumah. Into what party no munyina bedi na chi na
asantefo no oti CPP no
omo nyina bedi na chi that time na RR Mponsa any Victor Usia Krobwadu say and Kwame Sanapoku Jantua any Franklin Adubobi Jantua omo ne prominent Ashantis edinachi then Obeye Prime Minister no 51-52 ana or draw up accelerated development program. I try so mind we say man so iron it is a first world. Na no ma wodi benye ni sika dia nyina will come from cocoa. Because that time we were the world's leading producer of cocoa.
That time no.
Now
maybe before 51-52 no. Zamana UGCC won.
Yaguno.
Now
UGCC
after
51 na Yaguno. Ntina besi and Yaguno because it was a party for the colony and now
we don't have colony again
Nkrumah has expanded everything beyond the colony and the white man has been forced to recognize that and so the northern territories and then Ashanti and then Transvolta Togoland have come into the picture, so UGCC becomes completely irrelevant and then the Ashantis will start telling Kwame Nkrumah say na yen sikana with this school I want Fante and cry Ayube Esrem because Ashanti at that time was one region which was the biggest region made up of Ashanti, Metropolitan Ashanti, Ahafo and Bono. Na omno mu dua cocoa pa.
Okay.
Nti omu say omu sika ne dey be the rest of the country. Sadia and they will have to make a proposal to Nkrumah. Say increase the price of cocoa now with them farmers.
Okay.
Now Kwame Nkrumah said the moment Obeye said and be affected the program meant for the whole country.
Okay.
Now also we will say bauxite in Asante, the income manganese the income in Asante, diamond the income that didn't know the whole share cocoa no into the negotiations are Nkrumah ni wo mu ye and say Sadia cocoa farmer be and fan banco school na ye way cocoa no wo ubetumenya receipt akwala bia ubetumenya receipt so papa ye cocoa ubenya government scholarship and Nkrumah catch one say when na bobo amamanya lawyer for ne doctor ne journalist ne bibia na me disika ne hya munsama do you know what you would do ba waremba bebre awu bebre gu cocoa na say emmoa o ma
say na cocoa na no betre phone
anti na chese emmoa ma wo meye so no
okay
nti omu kwai no me say Nkrumah di atempa o say yenim nyansa na say yenim nyansa nka yen sika na ma Ghana the world a leading producer of cocoa nti e be kire no nti omu buy no omu Nkrumah hot 3 times because they were CPP
because of that statement in a film Nkrumah no buy no
on world market price of cocoa na medi farmers no ho because region bia na I work on so we benefit from it.
Okay.
Now Nkrumah said the country is for everybody. What you say nti ono so one penny nti omu kwa na omu say yate ye ho mate me ho kem yate ye ho afi CPP na now say Ajiman Prempe ye Nkrumah damfo one man title or Sajefo no so after this another title Otumfo. It was the first time in the history of Ashanti hinifa title Otumfo no so one so mama title or Sajefo, but because of the pressure from his people now say Oti Party National Liberation Movement headed by his own linguist Bafo Akoto
na oye
head.
Okay.
The one they call the next election, no, 1954 election, no, no, for any voter, Ashanti, no, for any voter. They were also invoking history that the days of the Ashanti Empire, the Ewes were their map readers, and two, anytime they bought guns from the coast, they will give it to the Ewes. No more mold, no more so moldibi. No mu the amount to omu no omu ye one nti SG anto ani asantefo be ye baako esremfo so nuanum ne asantefo etokwadura no omu ko de ma wo nti through that no omu shase so omu ye baako. Now unfortunately initially 54 they went as individuals and omu lusu no to see people no and Kwame Nkrumah ma colonial administration na say we don't have any opposition in Ghana because SG Antos Transvolta Togoland Party is fighting to break away from Ghana. So the aim of that party is not for the welfare or the future or development of the country.
I see.
Now you go to Ashanti. Almost the world market price of cocoa. They are fighting for federation. See, in the federal system of government, much of the products from that state is retained there.
Okay.
And a Muslim Association Party, almost Christians and respect, to almost per respect. So it means they are not thinking about the country. Northern People's Party say, Abrafona and Sisi schools were home the schools in the good
about
south.
the southern sector.
And Tiama south of one alcohol school, so many independence in the Bomwa. The going away of the white man will mean they're coming to serve black people, their own brothers, and the Omunyan to almost
black man seven and
to one the one year. And apart from Convention People's Party, I almost draw support from everywhere, and almost nationally inclined. Parties Akebia has a sectorial view. And Nkrumah said, no, we cannot go to independence with this.
There's a selfish interest to be a tenant. And
Nkrumah said, this cabinet system of government or your prime minister, a practice of Britain, the leader of the opposition must be capable of becoming the next prime minister when the government falls. But these people, if you are from Ashanti, you can't be prime minister because you are not thinking about the country based on Nchechiremu Amami. If you are from Ghana, you can't. If you are from Volta, you can't. Only the CPP. So that compelled another election, 1956 election. And that means all the opposition parties will have to come together. I don't know me a combo, me a friend, united party.
UP party.
UP tradition.
Okay. All these two are not JB Dankwa.
I don't come about the candy association. Ya pamuno tibe one can anti United Party no. SG Anto can we leading member. And SD Dombo. Simon Dear Dombo and Northern People's Party. And about for Akoto. Omunyina transe ehun say omunyina educational level training college enduru babia nti sadia yanhwehwe wo bia okuta superior education a one Nkrumah be mache ni emfa ne mra nti omudi omu ani hwehwe mu no omukọ hu bunani and at that time Bono was part of Ashanti. Professor K.A. Buzia to come and lead them. You understand? So the UP tradition had K. Buzia. And then they drew up a bigger agenda. So after the 56th election, when we had independence, Nkrumah was the prime minister. And then the official opposition led by Buzia. Until that time, not down kwa hinifa. Until not down kwa one can. And the Achims too were not part of the Ashantis. The Achims were not because from the Ashanti time, Ashanti had always thought of subjugating Achim and ruling it completely. And that be answer Achim, but no more near day.
Now, Ashanti for Adikachi Achim for us, Mutum that time.
That be one son of the Iowa Rubina, or Quaqua or said to two Quapanishiwa, Omukumuno.
Okay.
So what I say, about 300 years ago, or more than the Vapremio, very good that time, Omukum or said to Tuno. And from that time, Ashanti for defeated in the famous Ahantan War. But every now and then, se tribe bibia ne Ashanti akuntokwa na Achim support that tribe. Sani ambe yombenya wonfa hudi. Nti Ashanti di won so alright, but omo amfa ne easy. Nti Ashanti ne Achim de omo nka da. Up to politics adankwa na ofiri Achima himfie no hu say we don't have to add Ashanti to whatever we are doing. So what you say? Ananze manso nya omunam fofo ene Achim omunam fo ne afansa Asante. Nti Nkrumah ba na opia omuko mbeye one it was okay until the cocoa issue came about. Now that Achim coming into Asante no was as late as 1979.
1979.
Third Republic.
That time no your Third Republic. Ya dia fa hodia wi o. Ya
fa hodia ya two Nkrumah 66. 69 ya called Second Republic. And the leader was their leader was K.A. Buzia, who became the prime minister.
Because me share a UGCC. See formed the 4th August 1947. Now, time because you see what's Echo 78 or 76 right? 79. So that time ya GFA who did that 57 no. Eti Ekobane say na 1960. This is a coup d'etat. And 69 omo handi over. Adema omo say party be a support CPP and just say ban CPP. Ama Kwame Nkrumah nipa ogina na K.A. Buzia K.A. Gbedema. Ono be official opposition. Now so one year we say then UP no. Buzia ne free Bono lead party, right?
But you can say Asante.
You can say
Asante. Okay, so that time.
Now, you did 4th August as for a day to UGCC. How relevant is that holiday?
And to be on TMBA, you say 4th August, you did Aborigines Right Protection Society. At that time, they were not fighting for the Gold Coast. So Moji and Fahudi.
Okay.
And another 4th August, you did UGCC, you know. Machira Muse, and you buy Omodeji Fahudi, Ama Sante, Aibe, and Yesrim.
Okay.
Almost parochial interest be. And I would take one now because I self government within the Shutters Party. What do you mean by that Shutters Party? Now we could have 2 branches. Okofa General Secretary Bano, the Obia Beckham, yes, Auntie Pamo.
Okay.
So what I say, and Tisa and Namona year 2 year no, and Yanamoa, you did lay foundation say a day pay Fahudi.
The Sergeant of the General Secretary is supposed to speak. Didn't start with what Akufo-Addo did. It has been their stock in trade.
Yeah, but you remember how me person we only we that hono no.
Now 69 no.
69.
69 election no. CPP for contest bi. Now your friend is Nkrumah for the deputy.
Atam ne to Nkrumah.
Ya to Nkrumah the deputy no wa ha ke bedema. To no organize CPP for in another form all together. And now we need seats kakra no mo for more opposition. And no pono. Papa ne omunim se oba beye the opposition leader our parliament na just say indirectly na Kwame Nkrumah enti obia yaswa ni in no kuta ni seat wo parliament keta or parliament no mo keta no mo ajinja omunipa ayefa na Uno Williams say abano yewie mu yaswa ni in or parliament
no
ama yede no court AJ seat ni free nisem ama bode ma betina fie yaji ni seat for bet yam fa no ntonche
okay
abetina fie to betina fie
enti enya ase no for pay
every pay
ana 1972 champion so betu buzia nti anenam so na yeba pie 1979 third republic
okay
nti sa third republic no and immediately Nkrumah no Ekambo mu no mute People's National Party.
Okay.
More or less.
That time now you reverse law now.
Very good. Okay. Until mute People's National Party.
PNP.
But for PNP, for them it was President Nkrumah's party. And now your friend say, this Mateme Hufo no, UP no, almost edin bedani PP in 69 Progress Party.
PP.
Progress Party.
UP change bedani PP.
PP Progress Party.
Okay.
Until 79 the 69 and a Progress Party.
Okay.
79 na so mo fa din foforo na eno kokoye
the same group
no say constitution bi e beba no
okay
mo se send din
okay
enti popular Popular Front Party na before say sa Popular Front Party no sa tradition no no mum yentie ni yes it was the first time achemfo no hwo won sa achemfo no ntumi nko join ni CPP because omu nye CPP for nipa omu di na chi ne dankwa dankwa so Nkrumah arch enemy nti omu ntumi nko CPP and they are too small to be recognized
achemfo no omu
sa na nakra omu do so kra nya just about 6 constituencies nti na so omu pa ba bi fa nti omu ko join ne asantefo no a party no so what you say eyi friend say asante ne esiremfo
etie no
nti so omu kokko join ne omukoko join ni won ewie ya no ana omu suggest say party ya yeti ehu yin say ya beko congress ni ekoyi presidential candidate hwe wo ba no be dictate what is the reason is
eno ye ho no
ya chimabu akokokos
okay
ana omu argument na say the so-called big six, no, even though for me in Ghana's history, any idea of big six, no. The only United say one near Awuno Williams, Anna Nanka Bruce, any RS Blay, any your friend say,
Park Grant,
any JB down Comuna. After 48 riots now. Yashi champagne for na chiwo so mu na organize sa demonstration na nam so mieku yi mo say sergeant ajetem na bi mi dwandwane na grant kwa abrochire na omo a wa kra ha immediately yenya ho no And the following day, newspaper report caption was a big size leaders of the UGCC arrested. Now, not just said they were the biggest fishes. No, biggest. The only Sanka started from Pagrant.
Now, Pagrant
founder, chairman,
UGCC.
back roller. Didn't see Kakofa Kwame Nkrumah. Ebaye. Other than Konya Onka big says so. And I find it RS Blay, first vice. And Nanka Bruce, and yeah, Williams. But Safo ni yenya won.
Omudwane.
I will know Williams and Nanka Bruce Dodgy. And Grant was out of the country. And RS Blay was in second year. So I say I change Cranford on Sujani. Ain't you know? Kakrana yenya out of all the leading members and the newspaper report. And or Taya Nkrumah what them Kwame Nkrumah. Instead of recognizing the people who stood on the days to declare independence for Ghana, rather than this recognition now comma the so-called big six big six just newspaper reportage kwa. So what you say?
Newspaper headline about that time.
I think President Kufuor did the whole nation a big disservice. Say Wokofasa Nkrumah di wonti eduto or mainsi kaswabra everywhere in the world. Sikabie niwa from the lowest denomination to the highest. The same people neguso. Assuming they did something for the country, all other people too have done a lot for the country. For the country, in Tinkabia, one city. Now they can't some Nkrumah that's why be a 2 cities. That's a Dankwa. That's a 5 cities. Now Yansa to 10 cities. Now Efremamu. Sana I'm saying that this man has done a great disservice to the
President
country.
Kufuor.
Our this are big says historically, you know. Woman Abeye Bibi said they are called founders and not founders because we don't have anybody called founders. And then let us also understand. Go to the history of every nation. When it comes to the struggle for independence or development, Obia de Nehujim, Nemum, the leader no, Anna Yekase or no founder.
Okay.
Napoleon Bonaparte was just one person. But when he came to lead France, now, almost fighting war, we fight on any dinner, so Napoleon won this war. He lost Trafalgar. He lost Waterloo. That doesn't mean he was the only person who went there to fight. He went with thousands of soldiers. So what I say, in the US, almost fighting for independence, thousands of their soldiers died, but the founder will be George Washington. South Africa, Mandela because of the prison 28 years. But they will call him the founder or the father of the nation. Mahatma Gandhi, just before independence, they shot him. But they didn't give the title to anybody. They call it to him, but the India, Yadema Gandhi. And to be our one, they need 2 or 3 da ebinsi. We are see baby adanti yadiano. And they are clear, the first person to have founded a national party. I nam so deji ye fa hudie no ma ye national anthem na o ma ye friend is saying coat of arms not to o my needing or move on from your friend is saying Gold Coast to Ghana na nyo ne Kwame Nkrumah enti one be na founders and the founders adentinanka emon coat e ye coat of arms and a maame no ye flag no Teodosia Oko and national anthem beho adena umfa womunka founders no. Now, people who rather opposed our independence, you call them founders. Until let's talk about 79.
Okay.
Until Akwaba Anesano, Emma Asante and most northerners, Ekabomu ete one party. I found a Popular Front party. And I Chamfuano, and a few allies from other places. Almost so Kabomu no muti one party. I found United National Convention. UNC, our symbol here in Sa. Our penny William Oforiata.
Okay.
Ne papa. Enti ya two dabi kind of Oforiata papa no.
No offer.
No offer. Ne papa no no be your friends a busy finance minister. Now, enti your friend is saying
also go on my potos
your friend is omu yes division no. Ya two abano obi anya 50% plus 1. Internet so almost sign quarto beam. Now that UNC people supported the PNP. I'm almost equal to UNC PNP UNC alliance. I'm not chairman here William Oforiata. What you say, Kokodi, PNP for in order to punish the Ashantis for not using him as a presidential candidate and using a younger person, Vito Usu, as a presidential candidate. What you say into a banisano, Emma, it's so easy for Nkrumah's people to win the election.
Okay.
So that was why it ended. Then 31st December, coup, eba ye tu omu frekunyaso. And omu by 1992, yes, I Fourth Republic.
No.
Then Fourth Republic, the Achim people come in again to realize that they are too small to make an impact. Until so munya obi de won ebono. Into omu ko join UP tradition ni biom. This time
UP na omu change ye no.
Omo change Popular Front Party.
Okay.
Wo koma wo dictate ya wo mantie na wo kote wo party.
Osamba.
But one, they were smart this time and gave them a name. Using this man, Professor Edubuahin, because Rollins time na curfew 6 o'clock no be other, no opposition. We pia ye bekum, and on no command speech be the Ghana Springs, breaking that culture of silence. Into watch for that people, not the whole nation. Attention, our corners so ye bema. Edubuahin on radio. Into Tamwa, UP tradition omu miti ye. And no den ho ekokodom wono. Nature so no so being the historian, you know. Say. Okwaini din bi de ma ho our friend Dankwa Buzia Club and they say when we say you be lifted the ban on party politics you nyan lift here
okay
nti omo asha say obi ya na preparation
okay
nti even NDC they founded an organization called the Eagle Club
okay
they started political organization
okay
na Kwame Nkrumah Nkrumah so started Kwame Nkrumah Heritage what I say later split into so many Nkrumah's parties.
Okay.
Until Professor no Edubuahin. And no quiny way the ma won. And your friend say down qua a kind of say UP for back about join us group no. To almost join a group no. And I'm saying no the most famous person out here against PNDC were Ghana. To call primaries, it wasn't difficult for him to win. He became their presidential candidate.
But maybe what can confirm you know? O se Dankwa Buzia. Dombo no count on no fear.
Dombo no. One no ye NLM. National Northern People's Party.
No.
1 penny.
Okay.
Our no ne Anto. And your friend is something in a chairman no Bafuakuto. Omu yina di wa nwo den kwama Buzia no. And from this point no, nanka say Kasante Fonkwa or history ne yema ne akwadia. History ne di adwuma dia. And nanka say ye Ashanti North and Ewe tradition.
Okay, Sanka you follow that sequence now.
That sequence now say nipa me ensa ne kambo mu no mo ti UP no mo kokofa Buzia say ono ya professor nti o meli no say sa na ye di ye adwuma dia ene nanka say ye your friend say down
northern
Bafuakuto Dombo and then Anto tradition.
Oh, okay.
It shouldn't be Dankwa Buzia.
It shouldn't be in fact, Dankwa the Ombe Mubi.
Dankwa
because story ya me kena the Dankwa mo party no go 51.
Yeah.
What you say?
Because who can me the name to me tirimbat. Me take Dankwa
there be on count. One count na Santifano so and you know for reasons, two main reasons. The first one, Makasa UGCC no. At the time of UGCC, so many CPP call Econo. Na Santifo a CPP for.
Okay.
And no Dankwano or UGCC.
Okay.
The second reason is that the next time Santifo come to a Kubium or more free Nkrumah and China. Na UGCC Dankwan Kawo ho. I'm almost for Buzia.
And I didn't buy.
Then the other reason, crown, underlying everything is Asantefo Achim for so yomu but they would rather prefer the West and the Northerners and even in Zimmers, but not Achim people. And Achim also have proved to be smarter than all the groups in the country because with just about 6 or 7 constituencies as we have today, they are smart enough to know, say, if you isolate yourself, you will be insignificant. In Tipobina, now the one the Ashanti Metropolitan, Ashanti alone has 47 constituencies.
Yeah.
Ahafo, the whole of Ahafo is also Ashanti, 6 constituencies. New Jabe North and South, 2 there. Then Kwawu North, Kwawu South, and then East, we have 3 there. And then go to Asen, what you say, where Ashanti influences. Then go to some part of Oti, and then even Budin the Bono itself. Ashanti has big influence into what Kwawu Ashanti 100%. Kwawus are not like Achems who are a distinct tribal group. No. Okay. Kwawu is Ashanti like Ahafu. Okay. It's Ashanti. Except that they are in a different region. Yeah. Like Bono Ahafu. People thought the Ahafo people were part of the bonus. No. Ahafos have always been Ashantis and they serve the Goldings too. And
there were those who were doing cocoa.
All of them today, all the time cocoa.
But Rollins can be. May both you be a man.
Underestimated. The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it. They've been in existence for a long time and have been changing their names up till this day. The nature of who they are. Listen. I love Radio Gold 90.5. The nature of who they are, what they are, where they've come from, is something they are happy with, and they will be there for a long time. Let's not mimic their behavior. Let us reach into the principles and the values that emerged out of the circumstances that gave birth to us. And if we can hold onto those principles and those values, we will move way into the future and no one can ever defeat us.
That statement by Rollins, which was saying, was that the NPP cannot be underestimated. They've been changing their names and not some more can we confirm it or narration, you know. But we was 30 free bar, no more PUP. No,
Sansi, they cannot be underestimated.
Yeah.
That's the word to be underlined.
Underestimated.
And say
that's the underlined word.
Even Nkrumah could not underestimate them. Yes, because it is founded on the strength of possibly the biggest region in the country in terms of population. And it has become their tradition, their everything. Oh, say in the case of Nkrumah himself, because he hailed from a small place, Western region, in Zema area, the seats there, Wakamboma can never be a tradition for the CPP. And then Rollins himself is also from Volta region, also a small area. There is not much impact they can make. But in the case of the MPP, they are very lucky. So it is built on the very essence of Ashanti itself. At any time, they will always form the biggest opposition.
Because
so you cannot underestimate them.
The then 10 regions, you know, the then 10 regions. We need 2 regions. Eddie winning national elections that Nkrumah. They've won only 2 regions. That is Eastern region and Ashanti region. How many are winning? Okay, so we'll be
79 the same.
79
the same apart from Ashanti. Almost everywhere. Almost the second, I realizing that they are the major opposition parties. Almost Kambomua and Kombe to winning. All because you see, Ashanti alone out of 275 constituencies. This is one region. Omukuta 47 constituencies. And their sister region, I create a man, 6. Half 6. And a new job in North and South. Koforudia. They are 100% Ashanti. Ashanti for na ntokwani into Omukogu.
In the Eastern region. No?
Eastern region.
And the new job is okay job in
what do you consider Ashanti region? Yeah. And I say to 2 munekwa yimon tokwano denchira for tokwano omuko cha kwa weti ntimi dakaritina gold na account no mo amfa Ashanti for
okay
and yes wo mo no mo so mo mfamba nti punishment e dey ma wonu no mo free ho begu ba bi omu wosese and ombegu so ancha no mo patch up kama nti they are 100% Ashanti so mo som otumfo
asen for them
asen too has always been part of Ashanti.
Asen for no
Asen na was central has always been part of Ashanti.
So central north.
And so your friend is saying Kwawu so they were in Ashanti Mampo. Ntuunsa Professor Jumambedu Akosa had wanted to become Oman of Kwawu. Meanwhile, he's from Mampong because they are one people.
Now, Ebane send the Kowusune Asante break here because if they are of the same people, then they see Emma the Kowusune break here Becca upon his own.
One more day,
and number Jamma, then they see
a small thing. Oh, say. During the days of the Ashanti Empire, they always felt that they had to fight in order to sustain the empire.
Okay.
And this group of people, no, awomu adwene ye won say, see enya abotre na ye tenase, na ye adwene ye won to ye rather than always going to fight. If you go with 1,000 men, you won't come back with 1,000 men.
Okay.
To all those who think like us, momi yankope ye be bintena.
Okay.
And the entena strategic place Asante, you know, so much my friend, quite yen to me, on to me,
and you ask the confound and on pass from you.
On pass from you to Omuko, be no. See, so many passing and coffee, no more roll stones against the messengers. And to will be a best my so only a while who could cool. But they are one people. I mean, all Kwawusa Ashantis.
I see.
And he said, Rollins Asamokan, it was based on history. Say, when you talk of Ashanti, they are so huge. Which can, to a very high extent, can even mean voter region. If you are going deep into history, they are always together. Always. You go to Kumasi, there's a place called Angunaga. Made up of Ewes, meanwhile, you can't find that anywhere else.
But even Oko voter region, OT region, is a Yati OT. OT near Otina Kwakwe Akan speaking region or area.
And not even Angola itself, Numpo. First, and many people don't know. They think somewhere Togo for never. They have always been part of Ghana.
Okay.
And the Angola have always been Ashanti allies.
Wow.
Because Ashanti was trying to make incursions into the Oyo Empire. And it was the Voltarians who were helping them. In Nigeria, they wanted to bring them under Ashanti. And it was the Ewes doing all this. They have always been one people. Then Ashantis don't hide the fact that they were marrying women from Angola area because on woman color no.
Yeah, Kokono.
Yeah, unfair because we are predominantly dark. It is only the fofrope. The Ashantis don't hide away from distance. And they are women who were marrying from the north in order to get more children very quickly because their men were dying all the time because of the constant and continuous wars.
Not just on talk about Africa.
Tete tinti amu yenuanum bebre to omone and then predominantly NDC omu so omu atamfo ne Asantefo no rather no omu traditional relationship more than Asante and Achim. Asante and Achim have never been one.
I see.
But Asante and Ewe have always been one. In fact, this Ewe town Peki. Mampong for the Pechi in the Mampong.
Peki in the voter region.
And the Kumasi for now on that Bekwai Road, Pechi number 1, number 2. Ayomuna Chichire.
Wow.
And now if we are in Chobedu Kobefa Wusuta. And we are Mampong Suta for now a Chichire. Into Omo ya want is how called that area. Uba unse chidin bebre. Tinya politics and Kayana Nipaba could put it that way. Take away politics we are one. And indeed the chiefs have always protected that.
Okay.
As for the chiefs, because on Hinibia Transi on Niminabako some say maybe where you way mommy. And the Achims don't want that Achimabakwa people don't want that one to come out. But when it comes out, it will be exposed that their enemies are the Ashantis. So they always want people to think that Yeni Asante because we speak one language in it. Ye nipa ba kunamo bonofo de omu nyemu ayibofo nyemu and Nkrumah nyemu. It's not that is not the history.
I see.
That is not it. Nti we no ade wonyansa be ya dankwa buzia.
Dombo no.
Dombo de yifrim na just agukura.
Na dombo na gu.
Agu dombo na.
But and yami atiase said the NPP tradition, you know. See 3 pillars so. Dana yami atiase.
Say dankwa buzia dombo. Say. Nti say no the Fourth Republic no. The Achim people have forced the Ashantis. Omunye omu adwin so mbesua abakwasam no we mu atwiste abakwasam.
Achim for na twiste abakwasam.
Abakwasam afọ stay on the Ashantis wo mu ate ase say ye ka UP tradition na yan na mo. Nti mu no mo pani no yedi ni din to so na ni buzia. Yanso ye pani ene dankwa. So now up to this point, it will be a OTM and Nanka Dankwa and count because Achimfo and count. They were not part of UGCC, they were not part of CPP, and even 79, they caused the UP tradition to lose. And instead of being punished, they now come in again to say that we are brothers. And the Omundi Panestande ya Olusu ye. Professor Dubois, you know. And any name baby PA Kofo time. In fact, Nanke Kwame Pia Nimi Wini. Okay. Hands down. And you're disqualified, and now Kofo will take you over. Na yet is a santimine you Kwame Pianim or Kofo. But you're the leading members of the party, no be a fight to be. Obia a Santifono Modos whom Safuadu, Dr. Safuadu Mina. What you say? Until no Munisa, I joined Safuadu, his campaign manager was Major Kwasiga. Until Nasa ni one timber a Chimabwaka people per baby agina. Until I saw mu creative BB, no mu digina so. Until when the Kofo left, Sananka ya traditional. Nka automatically tradition san ne MPPC adru dombo fo no so a. Ane nanka buzia di ne de 69. Ana your friend say Akufo Addo no ayi Dankwa nka ho ni nipa no professor no Aduboahin no ba standing na nkwa nkosi ba bia nti nanka ono so Aduboahin ba UP 92 MPP 92 na Olusu ye nti nanka onam so ye akan nti no wo de ne be kan santefo no nti nkeduru kofo tamodi ne de awie no na chesa santefo no successively omu na abasa atwifo no nti nanka esa kofo de ma ne running mate Aliyu Mahama so that it will mean that from Ashanti to the north then we are following tradition
and can I say ebedu Akufo Addo so
can ru ho
no
follow tradition there Aliyu Mahama neba but Ashantis they didn't have that idea. They felt that we are talking about our country and that tradition is gone, but you need a tradition in order to have a constituency, to have a base. But when it comes to leadership, the moment we have the base, anybody can come into the fold, like NDC now or CPP. They don't say you are from here or there, or you are related to Rollins, so it should be this or that.
Yeah, because Ofa NDC since 92, Omanya leader from the Volta region, Omanya leader from the Akan Central region,
and now in the north.
Yeah, and Omanya leader from the northern region. It's one of Obia to be
and now we mono nanka wasantefo ni tirimu say obia obetuma standing based on your own individual capability no yam fama ana achemfo no atuma ya de one tradition no e dia beka ho nti say omu hu say amfolo ne omu hwehwe no a omba wayato etisisi ya kofo edi ne de ewie ya no kofo ede ne support obi enim Ghana ha. He wanted Papa Owusu Nkrumah from Western region.
Papa Owusu Nkrumah
as an hunter man to lead the MPP.
Etina nye Alan Kashimpo.
Papa Owusu Nkrumah. From there to Professor Frimpong Boateng. Or testi omi eni na hu say Emboa. And Frimpong Boateng is from Seshi.
Okay.
And Owusu Nkrumah is from a hunter. So what you say? Intina sa adwe no tribal adwe no eni kufuo tim tradition bi eni ni tim. Ana anye ye no the support kokoma Alan Chamatin. Ana omu kwai na nam say still tradition any won tin bibia any ho. Edru tie na say ono ne ko run off no. He decided to let the one who had led, and the one who had led on top was Akufo Addo into one ko into a quiet no na whether it was right or wrong, the Ashanti people were not thinking about any tradition. Now when mono kokoduru wo wie ya eso no so free e ho and na your tradition there tradition there then you created the Dankwa Buzia and kicked out the Dombo. So if the Ashantis have left and then that is Buzia has gone and then Dankwa has come and is going, then you should go back to
the
Ashanti people. No umpe Chamatin asem non pesa Santini bia ebeba. And no sympacho ade no free tetina ni say yamiensa. Nti say no adu dombo fuaso. Adu dombo fuaso.
I see.
Adu dombo fuaso.
You see how smart the man say.
Yeah. O say the achims. One block ni sa. E one ppm. So they've been smart all this while. Yeah. It is that smartness, no, and they keep them up to date.
To twat everything to their favor.
A true domo for so nti wono domo no why. One only man prisi ni ba. Baumia. Meanwhile, no, the original Dombo no crano. Mamprusi, I need the gomba for no one come. Dombo was a Dagati man. Why Dagatini?
Dombo Dagati
powers into a free northern region. It is a do one so then you can the only thing is that man penny penny nipa no any nipa. Intina say yeah you create story bia na ejitum in fact me now for asante for lawyers doctors which wonu wo mu yom say ha din wo tradition wo say you buzi edi ye di atoto asesa ya ha dombofo na say edi dombofo no so and he thinks it's not dombo. And me patch say they think that when you say dombo it means that not no I don't know they are chim for ndibiri wo so but it's a idea. Finance minister we born humadi and the whole world born abaso tesania Dr. Kwabena Dufo mo jeje international prizes in India. Enke odebema no ko hwe ba umie bia
anka odebema kerefuriata
I think odebema easily no aka kira wo say na sa president Kofo ne time primary presidential premise send the chiriba account to win yanke yamfa ma no nti we so mesumi nua ketewa finance minister the whole world obi ase wa yade obeka one ade na nko de ma no obi ahu say wanye adwuma ni ye nti wuntumi mfa ma nti saade a yamfa ma obi obe protect your interest. It's as simple as that. Na tradition there that we don't have it is not built, the argument is not built on any tradition.
All right, Anokye Frimpong anything mama na me homra and yesua de papa eto da bia ye be kon say ya purely education and ye call Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu so hanum doc good afternoon apombo god and then ye utimi say ya koyachi
I am meeting pa a lot of things now working things now working and in fact I was so happy
mama twa homra
cobra
Mafuya meya. You say hepatitis. Me to ase. Me siremu. Asa why be na ekiki me. Emuya meya.
Sciatica. Any bone fracture no. You do Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. Dr. Kosia Dua ya betrete.
Sciatica. Entimi. Any bone fracture. Nompemu yare. Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. Ebe show me one.
Entemukura. One must specialize wasa area ropa. Yare ba konso ane saya omombre pa hepatitis B, stroke, diabetes. Akumamu yare ahoro, typhoid, awo, dunsomu yare. Ni nyina Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. Koko wadi abef mfidie be hwehwe mu yie. Ansa na wadi omu nduro na nanam no akam. Accra or Kwabenya ACP Road. Wasi Power Bus Stop wo ho a. Kumase or Feyiase. Wani Josbro filling station de di hwe no mum. Ena takra de so Anaji Estates, Customs Road. Ghana ha ba bi obia wo bia mfre 0244 54 44 22 and 0200 38 38 31.
Power Specialist Herbal Hospital.
Hepatitis B, ayaresa free and
feature great inspirational speeches and quotes from African leaders.
Long live fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends. Long live African freedom fighters.
Welcome to the Great African Leadership Series, where we feature great inspirational speeches and quotes from African leaders.
Fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends, long live African freedom fighters. Long live African independence. Long live your struggle. And long live African unity. Support. Here is a phenomenon against which all African freedom fighters must be on their guard and resist to the utmost. Even though I appreciate the difficulties facing us, I must admit I find it strange to watch some of us returning willingly to the colonialist fold.
The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it. They've been in existence for a long time and have been changing their names up till this day. The nature of who they are listen. Munjie, the nature of who they are, what they are, where they've come from, is something they are happy with, and they will be there for a long time.